A close reading of 20th century history indicates, as nothing else can, the horrors that accompany loss of faith in the idea of the individual. It is only the individual, after all, who suffers. The group does not suffer. Only those who compose it. Thus, the reality of the individual must be regarded as primary. If suffering is to be regarded seriously, without such regard, there can be no motivation to reduce suffering and therefore no respite.
You got to be oriented towards something, because otherwise you're disoriented. You just spin around in circles and then you suffer. And so do people around you. It's not a good solution. Orient yourself towards something. You have to figure out what it is. What will work for you? Start trying to piece that together. You're going to get better at it. But it's a personal process. You should use your education to inform that. So you need a personal place to stand, because otherwise you're going to be handed a place to stand on a plate. And it may be one that makes you a puppet of someone else's goals. What I've recommended to people is clean up your room. That's a good start. Organize your local landscape. Schedule your time. Start taking control of yourself. See if you can stop saying things you know to be lies.
How in the world can you dream up things that you don't know? There's something that's not you. Jung would call it the self, which he thought of as the totality of your being across time and space, that helps guide you when you have to make a difficult decision. And a difficult decision might be, well, what do I need to sacrifice? How do I need to discipline myself, right? What do I need to forego? Well, how do you figure those things out? You have to fractionate the oppressed all the way down to the level of the individual. It's not an accident that the axiomatic Western individual is someone who was unfairly nailed to a cross and tortured. Pick up your damn suffering and try to be a good person so you don't make it worse. Well, that's a truth. So you think, well, what do you do about that? Well, you accept it. That's what life is like. It's suffering. Well, who wants to admit that? Well, just think about it.
I had a girl come up to me last night at the end of my talk. She said, I started cleaning up my room last year and it completely changed my life. To the degree that you're in your room, the room is you. Now, that isn't how people think, but that's okay. It doesn't matter if they think that way. That's how it is.
We inhabit time and space, and our territories are spatio-temporal. We're here now.
And so then what do you do when you don't know where you are? What do you do when you don't know what to do?
Well, if you're a computer, you just crash. What good is that to you? You're just going to die? That isn't helpful.
They say you're dangerous. Are you dangerous?
Yeah.
Why are you dangerous? Why are you dangerous?
Because I think that someone who's trying to be good should be dangerous. Like otherwise, there's no force to you. There's nothing to contend with. We have this strange idea that the pathway to virtue is through weakness and harmlessness. And that's just simply not true. That's the pathway to uselessness and resentment. You should be able to be a monster and then not be one.
Akira.